We begin with the former Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele reportedly spending over 1.7 billion naira on legal fees for suits instituted against the naira redesign policy introduced during ex-President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. This was contained in a report by the special investigator on the CBN and related entities, Jim Obazi. Emefiele spent the fund on legal fees for 19 cases instituted against the policy. The report quoted Emefiele as also using 1.325 billion naira for what was described as stolen pre-incorporation, adding that the money was funneled to 4 companies, including a legal firm that got 300 million naira. Between 2015 and 2021, an investment company was said to have collected unlawfully a total of 4.89 billion naira. A breakdown indicated that the firm received 262 million naira in 2015, 464 million naira in 2016, 550 million naira in 2017, 726 million naira in 2018, 762 in 2019, 684 in 2020, and 1.44 billion naira in 2021, with a total of 4.89 billion naira. The reports further indicted Emefiele for allegedly paying 17.2 billion naira to 14 deposit money banks participating in the Nigerian Electricity Market Stabilization Facility. Among the people who instituted an action against Emefiele on the policy were 8 states, which includes Kaduna, Kogi, Zamfara, Ekiti, Kano, and Ondo, while disagreeing with the deadlines for the use of old naira notes in the country. The suit resulted from the difficulties caused by the policy in the lives of citizens, the practicality of the deadline, and the policy's constitutionality. Aside from the state, another litigant was a Lagos-based lawyer, Tokwe Alabi, who approached the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos for leave to initiate contempt proceedings against the ex-CBN Governor for alleged disobedience of the Supreme Court orders on its naira redesign policy. Now a group, Delta Consensus Group, has called on the All Progressives Congress in Delta State to explain the destruction of the BVAS machines and burning of electoral materials in the stronghold of its Delta governorship candidate, Senator Ovie Omoagege, within the Delta Central Senatorial District. The group condemned APC tactics in making some people believe that they have a strong case against the winner of the election, Governor Sheriff Owowori. They insisted that a party that could only win 4 out of 25 local government areas through violence certainly does not have anything to prove at the Supreme Court. The DCG shared their reservation via a statement issued by its national coordinator, Mani Onye. Onye wondered why violence was only witnessed in the alleged stronghold of Omagege in Ughelli North during the election. He also disclosed, and I quote, "We are at this point asking the APC to come out and explain why it was that the party won in only places where significant manipulations and violence were recorded, leading to the destruction of the BVAS machines in those areas." Elsewhere, a former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Adams Oshomole, has described the former Ogun State Governor Ibukule Amosun as a pathological liar. Oshomole said this in a statement on Thursday while reacting to Amosun's comments to his remarks at the presentation of a book on Tuesday in Abuja. You do recall that Oshomole had claimed that APC governors, including Amosu, plotted his removal as ruling party's chairman and constituted themselves as generals whom the party should refer to during the moment of critical decision-making. He also accused Amosu of disloyalty, saying that he abandoned his leader, Muhammadu Buhari, in the defunct All Nigeria People's Party, that is the ANPP, and defected to the Action Congress of Nigeria, then ACN. In his reaction via a statement on Wednesday titled, "Amuse yourself, not the public," Amosu said Oshomole was responsible for his exit as chairman. The former governor accused Oshomole of conducting one of the worst primaries in the history of Nigeria's contemporary politics and ended up shopping his enemies, leading to his eventual removal as the APC chairman. Reacting to Emerson's comments, Oshiomhole recalled that the former governor supported a governorship candidate on the platform of an opposition party when he was the Ogun APC leader. Senator Oshiomhole also took exception to Emerson's remark that he found himself in two public positions, saying that he doesn't need to comment on the remark. Oshiomhole also used the opportunity to deny disrespecting former President Buhari, saying he supported him as party chairman but allowed the governors to oust him from office. You're currently listening to the World News at 12 and Voice of the People 90.3 FM. After the break, we'll bring you more stories. Welcome back. This is still the World News right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Imo News reports aggrieved residents have stormed the Rivers State Government House, Port Harcourt, protesting against President Bola Tinubu's intervention in the political crisis rocking the state. VOP News gathered that the protest is also in solidarity with the state governor Simlai Fubara. The protesters include students, youth, civil organizations, labor unions, and members of the Hausa community in the state. This is not surprising as Rivers State has been in an imbroglio ever since the debacle between Sim Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, and the FCT minister Nyesom Wike. As of the time of filing this report, the protesters were still gathering as some erected canopies at the government house entrance. This comes days after Fubara met with President Tinubu, the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and other Rivers stakeholders in Asovila. The meeting, which was fixed to end the political crisis in the state, saw Wike, Fubara, and some others sign an agreement to end the feud. After the meeting, one of the resolutions reached was that all impeachment proceedings initiated against Governor Fubara by the State House of Assembly should be dropped immediately. Also, part of the resolution reached was that the remunerations and benefits of all members of the Rivers State House of Assembly and staff must be reinstated immediately. Also, all matters instituted by Governor Fubara and his team at the court shall be withdrawn immediately, and the governor shall henceforth not interfere with the full funding of the State Assembly. They were also resolved that the Rivers State House of Assembly shall choose where they want to sit and conduct their legislative business without interference or hindrance from the executive arm of government. Elsewhere, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's led government has vowed to pull out at least 50 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 42 months. Now, we do know that the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, disclosed the incumbent government's plan on Thursday while appearing in a television interview. Edu emphasized that President Bola Tinubu is actively implementing various poverty alleviation programs to assist the underprivileged in the nation. The minister further stated that these initiatives will involve collaboration between her ministry and other relevant ministries with a collective endeavor to foster economic development in the country. Now, to talk about critical issues being read out on the World News at 12, I actually have via the telephone a legal practitioner, a social and political affairs commentator, and that is Mr. Darlington. Mr. Darlington, as you do know, is well known to be quite vocal with his issues that has to do with some of these government initiatives, policies, and the theatrics that takes place in the polity. Mr. Darlington, welcome to the World News at 12.
Yeah, Esther, how are you? And happy Christmas in advance.
Thank you so much, Mr. Darlington. I see that you really look forward to the upcoming Christmas, which will be celebrated on Monday. Mr. Darlington.
Christmas without cash, yo.
Well, that's the unfortunate scenario that we would have to cope with this season. Mr. Darlington, apparently the rivers crisis currently ongoing at the moment. There is a protest right there, and they're saying that the president had no business meddling in rivers crisis. And this is between Wike and Fubara. Although we do know that Fashola opposed the intervention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Quickly, can you tell me if indeed it was wrong for the president to interfere? I think he was trying to do his due diligence by ensuring that there was peace in a state that was critical to the economic pacing of the nation. What's your take on that?
Now, if what Tinubu was trying to do is actually to make peace, sincerely speaking, I welcome it. But those 8-point agenda was all selfish in outlook. Tinubu was trying to save Wike from an embarrassing defeat in River State. That was why he came there with Wike and imposed an order on the governor, a sitting governor, to accept a condition. We have it on record, or rumor has it that 8-point agenda was already written before the meeting started. That it was not even discussed with the governor. I mean, if you are trying to make this, you are not supposed to agree on certain time before we now issue a communique. But those things you are written and was handed over. Up to today, Fubara did not tell us that he was part of that decision. He didn't tell us that it was discussed. So why would he not hand over such an order to a sitting governor? In contradiction to what our laws provided in that order. I mean, Esther, you don't even know the importance of what has happened in River State. Our constitution has been messed up by that order. Our politics, our democracy has been messed up. Everything is all about Tinubu. I even heard that he threatened the governor, or allegation that he threatened the governor, that he should sign that agreement. And that was why maybe the governor signed with a black biro instead of red biro. So you can see that everything that was done there was illegal. Every legal man that I know of have interpreted that 8-point agenda. And they are all illegality from beginning to the end. All of them illegality. It is uncalled for. I was thinking that Tinubu, if he's truly a Democrat, he would have allowed the matters in court to go through all the court processes, so that all this jumping from one party to the other, people will learn a lesson from it. That's what I was thinking. So that these 27 lawmakers, they will regret their action, and it will be a lesson for others. I was thinking he would have allowed it, but because he wants to save his party and his acolyte, Wike, that was why he issued that order. I have said it yesterday that if I am the governor, I will not accept those terms. I will not. Thank God the people of Rivers understood what is going on, and they are protesting vehemently against it. You cannot impose your will on them. You can't. The governor is a sitting governor. He has a right. Constitutionally, you cannot impose your will on him. You can't. So Wike and the Tinubu, they are best on the same feather. What Tinubu is doing in Lagos is what Wike wants to do in Rivers. And Rivers people are saying that Rivers is not Lagos. That is the truth.
Where the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in person of Peter Obi has expressed his disappointment. You know, he criticized Tinubu over the 50% reduction in transportation cost. And he made this statement whereby he said that the president had announced waivers on transport fare for interstate road travelers during Christmas and New Year. He also said the federal government will bear 50% of the transport fares for interstate road travelers across the country during the festive season. Yesterday, our correspondent Ijeoma Innocent went to one of the closed bus stops around here to ask questions if indeed that the 50% slash is already been implemented. And most of the passengers, the commuters, even the drivers there, the commercial bus drivers, they said that they don't know anything about it. They haven't been told or given any directive about it. So we may think that possibly it's still early on. It was a directive that was given on the 20th before it was instituted on the 21st. So the question now is this: the presidential candidate of the Labour Party expressing his disappointment over the development. Would we say that a president initiative is not a good one? Why would he call that particular initiative a disappointing one? Could it be because it was not properly thought out, or would it be that because he's just an opposition and he has to say something?
Please, since Tinubu came into office, has he thought out any policy? Is there any policy that has been properly thought out before he start announcing it? Is it not after the damage has been done, they now go and reverse it? This 50% reduction now, look at it yourself. Only 5 transport companies are selected. And they are not to go through all routes. They selected all the routes. So who is going to benefit extra? Who will benefit? They don't know what they are doing. This particular, they are confused. I'm telling you. Look at this policy. Go to the motor parks and go and see. As at this morning, I monitored some radio stations and we went to interview passengers. All of them were lamenting that no reduction or no reduction. So motor companies said that they don't even know what they are talking about, that nobody contacted them. No total policy. If they wanted to do this type of thing, they should have started at least by October, November to start making preparation, announcing it.
Peter Obi is claiming that investigation shows that many transporters in major parks across the country were not carried along with the decision of the federal government.
That's what you hear what I said here now. That's what I said now. It's that somebody just woke up and took an irrational decision. The 5 companies that they selected, they are even saying that they didn't discuss anything with them. That is why they are not implementing it. The 5 companies, they said they selected only 5 companies. Out of the so many motor companies in Nigeria, only 5. And they selected all the routes. So who is going to benefit? That's what I'm asking you now. Who? The policy was not well thought out. I'm telling you, it's like a vintage Tinubu. He doesn't do anything and he's not very meticulous about his policies. He just wake up, make announcements. By the time the thing will run into a problem, he will not come back and reverse himself. That's what he has been doing since he came into office. If not, what is the wisdom in this type of policy? 50% reduction. And you did not even bring out the modalities to implement it. So you mean at the end of the day, how will you not measure how many times these transport companies fly that route, how many passengers they carry? How? The only one I know they can get a handle on is the train ride, because that one is under the federal government. They can be able to monitor that one because the ticketing is online.
Yes.
For this other transport, where the majority of the people are patronized, there is nothing there, no policy at all. And that is why the motor companies are afraid of implementing it, because they are not sure of collecting their money. That's the truth. It was not well thought out.
All right, Mr. Darlington, the Jim Obaza report on Godwin Emefiele is out. And they said that Emefiele spent the fund on legal fees for 19 cases instituted against the policy for the Naira redesign. Apparently, a total breakdown of everything is the fact that 4.89 billion naira was spent. And Emefiele, based on the report indicting him, they said Emefiele allegedly paid 17.2 billion naira to 14 deposit money banks. And these money banks participated in the Nigerian Electricity Market Stabilization Facility. At the moment, we're not experiencing electricity stabilization. We've been hearing several breakdown of the power grid, or one power grid station or the other having one or two issues. Electricity has been, inconsistent. So where were all these monies channeled through? Who gave Emefiele the order for those monies to be used in the sectors, especially these monies that were funneled? Was Emefiele on his own, via his own autonomy, taking this monies from the CBN and siphoning it to other banks without anybody giving him a go-ahead. Apparently, there are about 7 states. The states who instituted the action against Emefiele, rather 8 states, Kaduna, Kogi, Zamfara, Ekiti, Kano, and Ondo, they disagreed with the deadlines for the use of the Naira note. So the Naira note is the cause of this investigation, and these 8 states are the ones that are instituting the action against Emefiele. Would we call this a deliberate witch hunt? Is it not possible for former President Buhari to be called in and questioned? Why does it seem like Emefiele on his own did what he did without any oversight function and nobody gave him the go-ahead to do what he did?
In the report, the investigator mentioned that the Buhari and some other CBN directors should be questioned with Emefiele.
Yes.
Yes, he said so. So it is left for Tinubu to do the needful.
Do you think the president will invite former President Buhari to do the needful?
That is where we will not know whether he actually wants to back corruption, because the allegation is so weighty. Never in the history of this country has this type of nonsense happened, Esther. This man who told us with his own mouth that he collected the 23 trillion naira from CBN Governor without any approval, no appropriation, no accountability. And he told us in an arrogant manner that we should include it in our national debt and pay the money. The National Assembly said, come and tell us, where did you put this money? What did you use it for? He did not even bother to offer any explanation. He just walked away. 23 trillion naira. They are hiding under the ways and means. And that was how that money just went away like that. And you are telling me that Tinubu should not take action on that matter. Let me see how they will prosecute Emefiele without mentioning Buhari.
No, I'm not saying Tinubu. I'm not saying Tinubu.
Emefiele has 593 bank accounts all over the world.
Mr. Darlington, I'm not saying Tinubu should not take action in that matter. I'm actually asking.